Hey guys, it's 21 Maxwell here, and welcome to episode 18 of the TNA TEW Save. It's our second show of 2015 as we continue to build up to Genesis. It's the same place we booked it as last week. It's Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, the Palestra and the Tri-State region, as we continue to try and raise our popularity here and hope that it will expand to the spillover kind of regions that's next to it, and then hopefully we can continue on our surge to becoming a national company. This week, just the 13 segments again. As I say, it's a 2-hour show, so I don't get that much segments and stuff in. Continuing a couple of storylines, ending a few as well, and even the possibility there's one or two that are starting. So without further ado guys, let's get cracking in with the show. Boom 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 ba boom boom, that's that pyro again. The show starts with an impressive opening of pyro before the lights are raised and several sections of the excited crowd are shown waving various signs. The focus then switches to an announce table where Jim Ross and Taz introduce and hype tonight's show and the expected impact of the likes of Jeff Hardy, James Storm, Bobby Lashley, Bobby Roode, Adam Cole and Austin Aries are likely to have. Rating of 64. It's decent, it's Jim Ross and Taz that are going to hype it up today. I think it's our title feud and our rival storyline advancing with this segment, so good start. No workers improving, but that's good to start with. Then Kurt Angle comes out to the ring and he announces that the winner of the upcoming Battle Royal will get a title shot against the X Division champion Kenny King. 72 rating, no worker improvements for Kurt, but that kind of gives us a decent, it shows Kenny King's going to be his next match sorted. Then Kenny King comes down to ringside in order to do colour commentary for the next match. 58 rating, no worker skills improved, so that takes us straight to the next segment. And our bout that had some solid in-ring action but not much in the way of heat. Rhett Titus won a Battle Royal in 12-18. The other members of the Final Four were Davey Richards, DJZ and Shad Gaspard, with Davey Richards being the final elimination. Shad Gaspard got the most eliminations over the course of the match. Rating 64, and the people in the match were Crazy Steve, Davey Richards, DJZ, Drew Galloway, Eddie Edwards, Manic, Redman, Rhett Titus, Sam Shaw and Shad Gaspard. And Shad Gaspard is improving his performance skills, so I'm alright with that, and that builds up to a rematch between Rhett Titus and Kenny King at the next pay-per-view. Bad Influence are backstage, then all of a sudden they are attacked by the Bro-Men. Only a 46 rating is disappointment. Frankie Kazarian looked good, Jesse was underwhelming, but the tag team storyline continues on. And then we have a match after that, another great match involving Bad Influence. I don't think they can have a bad match together. Good chemistry between them, good chemistry between Taz and Mike Tenay. The tag title storyline continues again. In a match with some good action and average heat, Bad Influence defeated the Street Life Hooligans in 12-17, when Daniels defeated G-Rilla by pinfall with the Angel Wings. So that's a great mid-card segment, if I'm honest. We go backstage where Angelina Love is seen flirting with Samoa Joe. After laying on the charm, they both walk off together holding hands, so that's obviously Hawkins doesn't know that Angelina Love is starting to side with Samoa Joe, and he's going to get a wee bit pissed off about that. In a match that had some good action but not much in the way of heat, Ethan Carter III defeats Spud in 5:45 with the headlock driver, a 44 rating. Basically the feud's going nowhere, so I just called it there. Squash match. It's ended. It'll build up to EC3's next feud, which will be EC3 and Hawkins announce they're forming an alliance. I'm going to make a tag team between the two of them, and they're going to enter the tag division and hopefully could get them feuding at one point with Bad Influence. I just need to think of a tag team name for these two, so I wonder what I'll come up with. Then next up, Kenny King gets in some action. He defeats the main event jobber, which is Eric Young, just nothing for him, in 8:39 via pinfall, 63 rating. And Eric Young's improving his technical skills, so that's good. And then next up, Samoa Joe's in a match, but he loses to the Mag Daddy and a Mag Daddy driver from Magnus, 66 rating. Good chemistry between them. And basically Magnus has like 90 odd momentum at a main eventer. I don't have any main event plans for him, so I'm keeping him strong before when we do get plans for him. He's ready to have good big feuds. I say we'll tease stuff with Jeff Hardy, but for now, just keep him going strong and get him hopefully to be a main event player. And then Magnus and Jeff Hardy are in the ring arguing. Magnus finally had enough and attacks him, eventually driving him through the table to make a point. The segment ends with Magnus standing above the fallen Jeff Hardy. Now that's a 56 rating. What I'm interested at here is Jeff Hardy is a dreadfully stale character, a change is really needed. Magnus looked good. The Magnus versus Hardy storyline has advanced well with this segment. You could argue putting him for a table is writing him off. So what we could do is take Hardy off television for a bit and repackage him. Although with his contract, I kinda want to use him every week because he's on like the second biggest wage behind Kurt Angle. He's on like 20 grand, and most folk in my company's on like 10 grand a month. We'll see. We'll see what we can come up with for Jeff. The main event is a fatal 4-way for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, and about great action and average heat. Bobby Roode defeated Austin Aries, Adam Cole, Bobby Lashley in 2041 when Bobby Roode defeated Bobby Lashley with the Roode Bomb. Roode makes his 4th defence of his TNA World Heavyweight title, a 76 rating. 2 storylines continue. Bobby Roode improves his Rumble and performance skills. Aries improves his performance skills. And it's a kind of solid main event. It keeps all 4 of them, it helps the storyline. It gives them a match against each other, but it's not a match that burns out the crowd. It's like, oh, you've used this match 4 times. If you kind of come up with stuff like this, it still allows them to tangle and get a good rating, and it keeps the heat in the feud as well. So overall, a 72 rating, and it increased our popularity in 16 regions. So I'm all happy with that. That's another good show. We're continuing to start getting over 70 shows quite frequently now, so that's good. And we'll just quickly skip through this, and we'll see how that is reflected on Spike. Unlike, well, at the time of this video being recorded, which is I think about 6 weeks before it'll actually launch and go live, when Spike have just dropped TNA. So unlike that, we actually have Spike TV as a TV deal. So I'll quickly read this, and the emails, as I'll just go through these, it's just people leaving. Impact rating, we get a 3.12, so it's down from last week's 321, which was going off the pay-per-view, but that's still pretty decent. We'll have a look here if there's anything major. Just random reports. Jack Jester re-signs for ICW, and Scorpio Sky goes to Ring of Honor. But that's about it, guys, for this episode. But as I say, we're 2 weeks away from Genesis. We'll have a couple of good matches there. Hopefully, again, he'll continue to move on TNA to the next level, and hopefully we'll have a Jeff Hardy that is no longer stale. So until then, guys, thank you for tuning in. This was 20 Maxwell, on Maxwell, and I'll see you again soon. Bye bye.